Hey everybody, how's it going? Diecast Construction Expert here, and today we're going to be doing a small comparison video between two 1/50th scale, approximately, roughly around, less than 20-ton excavators. As you can see, they are both zero tail swing excavators as well, and these two are the only ones in this weight class to be produced. And I just wanted to go over very briefly some of the differences between both of them. Over here on the left, we have the Sumitomo SH135X produced by Replicars, and on the right, we have the Komatsu PC138 dash whatever. Not going to go into all that, but this was produced by First Gear, obviously in 1/50th scale, and these are very great models. I'm not doing this comparison video in any way to try to bash one model or another. It's simply here just for comparison purposes, just so that everybody kind of has an idea of what they both look like side by side. So obviously right off the bat we can tell the Komatsu has a slightly longer stick. Overall, the boom is about the same length, but the stick difference is definitely there. We'll start out with the Sumitomo, and I'll go ahead and flip it around now so you can see the cab. And as you can see right off the bat, there is quite a bit of detail going on here. This mirror is obviously kind of spun out of place there. Starting with the hydraulic lines right up here going from the boom to the stick, you can see they have the armored protection around them, which is a very nice addition. They've got the fasteners there, which would simulate the coupler between the rubber line to the metal line, and they've got all of the lines bent quite nicely along with the little brackets where you would basically have them in real life, which is very nice to see. Along the top of the boom, same thing continues on, looks very clean. So we'll kind of get off of that for a second. This blade right here is plastic. The tracks and everything else on the undercarriage is metal. So there's that. I can't open up the cab door or anything like that, but just off this little view here, you can see the cab is pretty nicely detailed for sure. So it's nothing to look down upon by any means. Like I said, metal tracks here, very nice. The detailing all the way around it is very nice. They've got the warning decals. The Sumitomo decal looks great. It's good. Also, this model has an opening compartment where you can see the engine and a few other things going on in there. Small little view of the radiator. Nothing too crazy going on there, but it is nice to have. Stack, it's there. Rear view camera is there. We've got fuel, we've got mirror. It's got some textured surfaces here next to the handrail, as you can see. So overall, it's definitely got some nice details for sure. I'm gonna briefly show you the range of motion. The stick will curl that far in, and it will go that far out. We're gonna get to. I'm gonna show you a little comparison at the end. But all of the cylinders have a full range of motion out of the box. Everything works just as it should. So we'll take note of that whenever we scan over here to the Komatsu. Starting out, we started over with the stick. It does have hydraulic lines. They're just plain rubber, nothing too crazy. It does not have a little warning decal here on the stick like the Sumitomo does. The lines going up the boom are loose, as you can see. They're kind of just doing whatever. It's nice that they're there, but it's not the most realistic assembly that I've ever seen there of lines. They're kind of just chilling out, kind of doing whatever. You can just, it looks good, but it's not nearly as good as it could be, and it's not quite as nice in comparison to the Sumitomo. That is just my opinion, though. Like I said, the blade on this model does appear to be plastic as well, but it's a little bit more of a sturdy plastic. The range of motion on this blade out of the box is better than the Sumitomo, but I did have to modify it a little bit to get it where I wanted it, so you can take note of that. The undercarriage and tracks on this model are metal. I thought that the tracks were plastic at first, though, so that's just a little note to take. You know, it just kind of feels a little plasticky, but they feel very good whenever you roll them around like this. Obviously, I never endorse rolling a model, such as playing with it, but can't tell that to everybody. Moving on next, the cab. The cab is there. It is nice. Not quite as detailed as the Sumitomo was, but it's there, and it's obviously gets the point across rather nicely. Coming around, got the painted painted vents there, which the Sumitomo had the casting there for it, but it was not painted, which I personally kind of like the painted look. I think it helps with the look of the model. That's just my opinion, though. Coming around to the back, the Komatsu does have a warning decal on the rear. It is nice to have, you know, the nice crisp Komatsu logo there as well. It definitely looks a little bit more, what would you say, popular versus the Sumitomo logo, but that's just for us over here in America for the most part. Here it does have a backup camera, or excuse me, a reverse looking camera like the Sumitomo does. However, up top it has an etched engine compartment, but it does not flip up. The stack on the PC135 is a little bit different. It is still there, and it models, you know, what the real machine would look like in real life, so that is kind of just what it is. Over here we do have a mirror with the handrail, very similar to the Sumitomo, along with a area to put the fuel. It does have what appears to be a textured surface, however it's just painted on there. So it looks good, but it's not quite as nice overall as the Sumitomo in that regard. In terms of the range of motion for this model, it always would extend the bucket basically as far as it can, either direction. The stick could extend out fully. However, before, whenever you curled it up, it would only curl into about there, which isn't nearly enough to really simulate a good load on a lowboy or a tag trailer. So I did have to do a little bit of modification, and because of that, it doesn't look quite right, but we went from only having, say, about, I think it was right about there, that much inward curl on the stick, to there, but the cylinder somewhat doesn't sit properly, so it's just you know, personal preference there on if you even want to do it or not. It does dig down just as deep as the Sumitomo does, so there's that. The only other price difference, I guess, is the only other thing I could cover comparison wise. The Komatsu will run you between 70 to 80 bucks. The Sumitomo, it could range you anywhere between 100 to 140, maybe even 150, depending on where you look. That's going to wrap it up for this little comparison video, guys. If you liked it, please like it, the video below. If you're just stopping by, please subscribe. And as always, please check me out on Instagram at DiecastConstructionExpert, and we'll see you all in the next video.